is Grace from NFP Connect, and I am here with Robert Sams from Lifeline, and we are talking celebrating services. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here. Tell us a little bit about Lifeline and what it does and how it helps the Hunter and Central Coast.
Yeah, so Lifeline's been around since 1963, started in Sydney and here locally for over 51 years. Wow. And I think probably fair to say most people know Lifeline for our crisis support number, 13 11 14. Yep. And it's a wonderful service available to all in our community. Yep. And but we do much more than that. And I guess one of the ways I describe it is after that crisis, after people feel supported in that need, what do we do then? So we have a range of programs that help us help the community with that. Face-to-face counselling is one of those, where we have rooms here in Newcastle, out in the community, Belmont, in Karua, places like Singleton and the Central Coast, where we are there for people to meet face-to-face and talk through any of the concerns that they might have.
Yeah, awesome. So when you're talking about crisis, because I know I've had different conversations with people, crisis doesn't have to be suicidal.
Not necessarily, no, it certainly doesn't, to answer your question. It often is for people who call that number, but we all experience crisis from time to time in our life, or dramas or downs. So we want to be there for community when they need us the most, but we also want to be there when they just feel like they need that extra support, because we know that social isolation and separation from each other is one of the real reasons that people can feel down, and we want to be there for them.
Yeah, awesome. So tell us a little bit about what Lifeline does on a greater scale for the community.
Yeah, sure. And it's a great way to anchor what we do is for community. Yeah. So our work, I mean, we often say we're in community, for community and with the community. Yeah. So that community binds what we do. So we're out there talking to people. We provide counselling services, as I mentioned before, training services. And in fact, we like to call our training skills for life. Yeah. So it gives people skills to have the conversation, to be there with others. We find that's really important. Yeah. We also have a range of retail shops. So aside from wonderful fashion, we're supporting community by providing people with jobs and with skills. And we find that's a really important way to give back to.
Yeah, awesome. So how's the community supported you in, making this place possible?
Yeah, it's a good question, because we couldn't exist without our community. So whilst we feel we do some great work for them, we have around 500 odd volunteers across the Hunter and Central Coast. It is amazing, and they're amazing. Yeah. So we have them on our telephones, face-to-face counselling, and in our retail shops. So that community is really giving back to us, and at the same time we're giving to them.
Awesome. And so what are ways in which, if a community we're coming up to Christmas, it's a really volatile time. I know that gets a high rate. So what's some ways that the community can support Lifeline?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think you're right. Christmas and some of those sort of peak times in the year are times where social isolation is the most challenging for us. Ways to get back to us, I mean, simple ways to go and purchase in our shops. So, we're not just an op shop. In our retail shops around the Hunter and Central Coast, 13 of them, we have a designer depot where you can go and buy labels. So if you girls got things going on at Christmas, it's a great place to get out there. No, don't seek advice from me.
What are you saying? Come on.
Don't seek advice from me on that. But aside from our shopping in our retail shops, we'd love you to jump on our website. There's a whole bunch of information on there, but particularly you can go to our donate page. And at Christmas time, where our calls do increase, the need for our services is in demand. It's a great way to be able to give back. If you can afford a few dollars, any amount will help us continue to provide those services for here in the local Newcastle community.
Yeah, awesome. And you actually have the call centre out of the Islington office.
So we man calls, yes, in both Newcastle area and in the Central Coast. So those calls, we have people manning the phones. And I confidently say right now that someone within Lifeline across the Australian network is answering calls. And we're proud that we do that here in Newcastle as well.
That's amazing. I'm a big fan of Lifeline. I've actually used the Lifeline call centre when my sister lost her husband, and it's quite powerful and a great tool if you've got someone that's going through it. So please don't hesitate to call what's the number one?
13 11 14.
13 11 14. Sorry. This is Grace from NFP Connect. We've just done celebrating services with Lifeline. Thank you so much, Rob, for being here today.
It's been our pleasure. Thanks for having us.
No worries.